A spokesperson for the People's Democratic Party is quoted as urging government to create, legislate, and create state police or community policing, state police and community policing. The call must have been based on the pervasive insecurities, citing the killings, the recent killings in Sokoto. What about the recent killings in Benue, in Katsina, and in different parts of Nigeria actually? Yes, you may want to think that state police will go a long way to minimize insecurities, but religio-political and economic injustices are the real reasons behind insecurities. Yes, in America, they have federal and state police. The state police is subordinate to the federal police, as we are experiencing it in Nigeria. But as I said, we have instances of state police, whether formal or informal, that has failed because, as I said, religio-political and economic injustice cannot help security. Let's go to Borno State, where Boko Haram is very vibrant, has been very vibrant since provoked into war in 2009. And Nigeria's rulers are unrepented in their provocation of Boko Haram into war. You see it, you call it terrorism. Who are the terrorists? Nigeria's rulers are the terrorists. The Boko Haram was not a terrorist organization until attacked by government forces. Umaru Musa, the late President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, who started the war, said, and I quote, "Boko Haram did not start the attack, we did." So, what are you talking about? And so, at a point, during since the war with the Boko Haram Muslim community, they have used all forms of vigilante, traditional hunters, and so on, have joined the police and the army. Yet, everything is failing. Why? Because you cannot expect peace where there is injustice. So, the coercive forces are no solution to religio-political and economic injustices. That is the message to get. But in the case of the Southwest, think of the Amotekun security outfit mounted by the rulers of the Southwest. Why has it not succeeded in taming herdsmen terrorism? Because the federal might is behind the herdsmen terrorists. Because how they started using AK-47 should be probed. Who is ready to probe it? Is it President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who vowed to continue in the footsteps of Muhammadu Buhari, or Muhammadu Buhari himself towing the footsteps of Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and Goodluck Ebele Asikwe Jonathan, and Bola Ahmed Tinubu following the steps of all of them, perpetuating the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community, herdsmen terrorism, and removing subsidies from all basic necessities of life to be subsidizing pilgrimages and pilgrimage boards for privileged Nigerians who are able to go on pilgrimage. So when you remove subsidies from basic necessities of life and you are paying workers pittance, so because I asked, these mushrooming armed bandits, what led to it? Because that one started during the presidency of Muhammadu Buhari. And the answer I got was that the economic situation of Nigeria has become so bad that it is encouraging criminality. So that was the origin of the mushrooming armed bandits. And the kidnapping people for ransom is part of it. So if you don't do, there's no religio-political justice against the Boko Haram Muslim community. Peaceful throughout the presidency of Olusegun Obasanjo, who said the Constitution of Nigeria allows religious freedom and freedom of association. So unless somebody is disturbing the peace of the nation, which Boko Haram was not, all it's doing is protesting haram, Boko Haram. Haram being perpetrated with Western education, which nobody can deny, because that is responsible for the backwardness of Nigeria, retrogression of Nigeria, and worsening mass abject poverty. Look at the policies claiming fuel subsidy when none exists, and claiming to be distributing funds to indigent households while paying workers less than minimum wage. So in these type of circumstances, you are promoting insecurities, you are encouraging criminality. So you are the Nigeria's rulers are the real criminals. And so the People's Democratic Party should repent, because it started the war against the Boko Haram Muslim community. It refused to implement the recommendations of the Electoral Reform Committee set up by the president on his platform. So yes, state police, it exists in America, but religious, political, and economic injustice cannot be remedied by reliance on the coercive forces, which is what Nigeria's rulers have been doing. Look at all the injustices against the populace. Always relying on the army. And if any military general should say this thing is not right, the person is gone. The person is gone. That was the case with some other generals. I know that of General Andrew Asasi very clearly, because the moment he said, this war against Boko Haram is political, not religious, that was he was sacked by the presidency of Goodluck Ebele Asikwe Jonathan, and not long after he died from helicopter mishap, official helicopter mishap in which he was involved. So the vigilantes or traditional hunters that joined the army against the Boko Haram in the Borno state failed. The Amotekun security outfit floated by the rulers of Southwest failed because it did not enjoy the blessing of the federal government. So, is it about Boko Haram? The government is responsible. Herdsmen terrorism, the government is responsible. Fuel subsidy is gone, all subsidies are gone, the government is responsible. You want to be committing crimes against humanity and be relying on the coercive forces. Well, it's not working, and it will not work unless you do religio-political and economic justice, or justice. The Constitution of Nigeria says there shall be no state religion. You are imposing Islam and Christianity on Nigeria, and using power to impose it. Nobody must touch the Quran. Nobody must touch Islam. Nobody must touch Christianity. The government is funding pilgrimages, pilgrimage boards, and subsidizing pilgrimages at the expense of the citizens. So, you know, you are encouraging criminality, and that is beyond the police, federal, state, and even local vigilantes. Why have they not eradicated Boko Haram terrorism, or the Boko Haram Muslim community? Why have they not been eradicated? Despite vigilantes, local hunters, with the army, the police, the air force, and all the forces.